How do you start a video that you don't want to make and is probably the hardest video that you've ever made? I don't know, so that's how you started, I guess. Kyle and I just got back from Arizona where he had his post-op for his shunt surgery, his brain shunt, and we were going to that appointment thinking, you know, everything was going to go back to normal. He'd get his staples and his stitches out from that surgery and then from the surgery in December. And when we landed in Arizona, it was just a nightmare. Everything was just chaos the day we landed. It was smooth sailing getting there, but once we landed, it was just like hit after hit after hit. Just the first day of, we were supposed to meet with his neurosurgeon that day after he did his MRI so they could review that scan. We could go over everything and then they'd remove those staples and stitches. And everything kind of hit the fan because we get to the place to get the MRI. They refuse to give Kyle the MRI because he has staples in, but he's had MRIs with staples in, so shouldn't be a problem. They tell us to go to Dr. Smith's office, which is like a few blocks away. So we walk there and they're like, no, you can get the MRI. And I'm like, they're telling us they will not see him. So we wait there for an hour. And then finally they come out and they're like, okay, you can go to get the MRI. We walk back and then it's another 45 minutes before they even take him back. And Dr. Smith's office calls and they're like, it's already 4 o'clock. Our office closes at 4:30. Like the building doors will be locked and you won't be able to get in. So we would stay, but like there's no way that you're going to be able to get into the building. Like we can't override, you know, them locking the doors because it's a huge building. And so the plan was that we would just come in the next day and we'd see the PA, which means we weren't even going to see Dr. Smith, which was just like the whole point of us coming to Arizona was to have his eyes and to see him and be in person. And so we were just like so frustrated. And then like just like random little things like,
oh my God,
we went to dinner, they got my order wrong. We got to our hotel and we had asked for no feathers and all of our pillows were feathers. And then it was just like one thing. Oh, and then I went to take a shower and there's no hot water. It was just like one thing after the next. And unfortunately, that's like the easiest part of this whole trip.
Oh my God.
Because it just continued to take a turn. The next day, we get up, we're getting ready to leave for him to go get the staples out by the PA. And we get a call from the radiation oncologist. Because the plan was that Kyle was going to get radiation 3 of the days that we were there. We were there for 4 days. So we'd fly in on Tuesday and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, he'd get radiation for the spot they were seeing in the right frontal lobe. So we get a call from the radiation oncologist. He was supposed to start that treatment later that day on Wednesday. And he said, unfortunately, not kindly, not gently, just laid it out straight that unfortunately there's 3 new spots beyond the spot in the right. And given that, they think they want to change the treatment plan so he's not going to have radiation later that day. And instead, why don't we come in and see him and he can review the scans with us because we couldn't get in to see Dr. Smith that day because he had surgery all day. So we took an Uber to his office. We saw the scans. Unfortunately, there were 3 new spots in the left frontal lobe of concern, and the spot in the right frontal lobe, which is new as of December, was enhancing greater, which means it's very likely that that is definitely cancer. And so he was like, I think you should have 5 courses of radiation for all of these spots. And we all agreed it made most sense to go home to Colorado and get the treatment here instead of extending our stay. Like, let's just establish care in Colorado for this. So we were like, okay, that's the plan. And we had in all of that, Dr. Smith's team could wiggle some time around for us to see him on Thursday, the following day, to just go over everything and then get his point of view of the scans. And it's probably like the worst day of my life so far. We go into that office and he's reviewing everything with us and basically explaining that he thinks that we should definitely get the radiation on the spots on the right because they've never been radiated. I have a pit in my stomach, just like reliving this. So he tells us that we should definitely get radiation on the spot in the right because it's never been radiated. It'll probably receive the gamma knife radiation well, but the spots of concern in the left frontal lobe are deeper in the cavity along the line of where they just did the resection in December and where the radiation seeds are. So there is a potential chance, and we don't know what this percentage is. I don't think anyone knows. It could possibly just be an inflammation response. and it's not actually like a treatment effect because of those radiation seeds. And maybe those 3 new spots in the left frontal lobe are not actually cancerous, but the tissue definitely looks concerning. It's starting to light up, and the more radiation that you've had, which Kyle has had a lot of radiation in his life, specifically in that left frontal lobe, Dr. Smith was explaining us, those cells become resistant to radiation. So you could give them radiation, but it's not going to do anything for them. And he actually did a study on this in his own lab, and they became resistant to the radiation. So he's like, I actually don't think that you should get any radiation on those spots and just get radiation on the right. Just do 1 round of treatment while you're still in Arizona. And then the conversation continued to get worse, and the spots, basically at this point, surgeries are becoming very unlikely that there will be any more that are available for Kyle because of how many he's had and how his skin heals and all of these things. So the only real action that we can take is that he can get Gamma Knife on this spot on the right, which he ended up having a couple days ago on Friday before we flew home, and that they can put him on a drug called Avastin, and it can help improve any symptoms and side effects and bring some of that like swelling and stuff down. It's not a cure for cancer. And those are really only our options from a Western standpoint moving forward, and to stay on the IDH mutation inhibitor that he's on called Varenga. I think we both have a little anger that the next sentence was even stated, but Dr. Smith just looked at us and said, but the real question is, will Kyle still be alive in 6 months to a year? I think that's the worst sentence I've ever heard, the worst question we've ever been asked. And he said, I made a commitment when I took this job to be honest and forthcoming with my patients and be realistic. And we both just kind of fell apart. And sat in that office and cried. A lot of tears. Went home to our hotel and cried a lot. And took a nap and then cried some more and woke up and cried some more, and Kyle got radiation. And then we were home.
I don't like the fact that they told us 6 months to a year.
Me either. Kyle has always been unwavering in his hope. And this was the first time I've seen Kyle waver in that. Because we trust Dr. Smith so much. And we also know that he's been through this personally with his own father having brain cancer and passing away. And so it feels like hard to not take that as fact.
We're gonna do everything we can to stop this tumor from growing anymore, like a trip to Germany.
Yeah. There were many conversations in that appointment and after that appointment about Germany is really the best option that we have. So we are going to Germany, and that has been a light post in all of this, is that there's still hope and that there are options. And yesterday I had an incredible conversation with my friend, and she was like, I don't want you to lose hope. Like, that is the thing that has always kept you together. And I think that is a big part of why Kyle is still alive. We both believe that.
Yeah.
And this is hard to hear. It was hard for us to hear. And the thing that I keep saying to Kyle, and the thing that I keep remembering, is that he didn't state this as a fact. And I think that distinction is important. He asked a question, and it's a yes-no question. Will Kyle be alive? And we can choose to believe, yes, he will be alive. And that is what we are going to choose to believe. And we are going to throw caution to the wind and try all of the alternative things. Maybe not all, but a lot of the alternative things that we can. Because Kyle has a lot more life to live. And we're not ready to not be together. And it's brought up that we have to have hard conversations that we haven't had. Like, we should write wills for both of us because we will both die at some point. So it's shifted our perspective that we can have those hard conversations and then use this as motivation to just truly live our life. And yeah.
She told me that once she said fake it or make, she said fake it till you make it. And that's the first thing I said to her.
When his cancer came back.
Yeah, she was a wreck. She said, like, fake it till you make it. I mean, that's the turning point of our relationship. Yeah.
When Kyle's cancer came back in 2021, we had just started dating. We had only been together for a year. I was having a very hard time with him having cancer, obviously. And I can remember sitting in that room that I can look out into, and he said to me, I need you to be hopeful with me because I have hope. I don't want it to be wavered by your fear and your worry, and you're allowed to have that, but I can't help hold it for you. And right before he walked into his radiation appointment on Friday, I grabbed him and I said, I have to now say that to you, that I need you to hold that hope. And I also know that when Kyle knows that it's time, I will accept that. But I don't think either of us are ready to accept that. It was just such hard news to receive, and it's been really hard to not let it affect us.
When he first said that, I was like, what? I mean, yeah. Like, yeah.
I think something that Kyle's mom said to him, this was years back, but she said, I think this time is so much harder because you have more to lose. He has a wife now. We've built a life, and I think hearing that just hits differently.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say?
Every time I get up in the morning, I keep thinking 6 months to live, and it's difficult to deal with that. I'm gonna write Dr. Smith and say, oh man, makes it did such a good job, and they'll say you shouldn't have given me a timeline. It's weird.
Like, take that power back.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were waking up and that was your first thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I have dreams about it, and I can't have that.
Or is that your mind's way of accepting that might be the reality?
I mean, I don't...
Like, if you close your eyes and sit with your heart, like, what is in your gut? Like, what does your inner self say? If you take all that away.
Yeah. Without Germany, I would be upset.
But that's not answering my question.
Well, I'd be upset, because I would believe...
What?
I'm gonna die.
That's what you feel in your gut.
Yeah. Maybe it's just right now, because it's like, it gave me a timeline.
You don't think, in your gut, you don't think that the vaccine is going to do enough.
Oh, yes, I do. I said...
But I'm saying in your gut, with what we know right now, going to Germany...
With Germany, I believe I'm going to survive it.
But you're saying if things stay as they are right now, you believe Dr. Smith...
Yeah.
Is right.
Yeah. Because it's like, he's so...
But no one can tell you.
Yeah. You're right.
I think there's something to, like, your best friend said this to you. The thing that has kept you here is you. And who you are and how you move through everything. And you can't lose that, and I don't want you to.
Oh, I mean, but Germany, and everything else, I believe I'm gonna live.
But are you just saying that also to appease me?
No. I took away all the, Germany and like all those medical mysteries.
Could be you.
Yeah, took all this away. Yeah.
There would be no other option.
Yeah.
So we're going to Germany.
Mm.
We will leave at the end of February, and he will get that treatment. And all of this just, I feel like, has lit something in our bellies and our bodies to just live life. So we're going to try and make this into a really awesome adventure and not just going to treatment, and do a couple-day layover in Iceland.
Mm.
Get to see a place that we've always wanted to. And honestly, it's actually cheaper to do that. And we're going to finally take a honeymoon this year.
To Hawaii.
To Hawaii. Thanks to family, we can make that happen. We're going to do all that we can do here and explore a bunch of different alternative healing modalities, like exploring psychedelic assisted therapy, because both of us believe that a large part of his cancer came from childhood trauma and processing that. But also there's studies showing that ketamine specifically can actually inhibit brain cancer cells from multiplying. So hey, why not? And I have a connection to people who are researchers and advocates for it, and they've pointed us in the direction of providers and different meditations and qigong, and just also living life.
Yes.
And not letting this strip our joy. And if the worst does happen, we'll get to have made a lot of amazing memories together. I mean, we already have, but to make it even more. But I think we've come to terms that Kyle's not going to live till he's 99, but like maybe, several more years. A decade, we'll take it. I'll take as much time as I can get with you. So that's what's going on in our life. It's been hard.
I wish he hadn't given me that time online.
It was a question, though. It was not
a
statement. And I think that is the thing we have to come back to.
Mm-hmm.
And our answer to that can be yes. Kyle will be alive.
Yeah.
And you will continue to be a medical mystery that people do not understand. Because you already have been for 21, almost 22 years. What's another 22 more years?
Yeah. I gotta remember that it was just a question.
It was a question.
Yeah.
And no one knows but you. And whatever thing people believe in, we don't believe in God, but whatever connection to the universe that calls us to the next chapter, no one can determine that.
We'll take all the snake shaking and
good vibes and prayers and whatever you can send our way.
Yeah.
And maybe some money for their GoFundMe. But please send all of the good thoughts and healing energy, and know that we're just two humans choosing to live life in spite of a crummy situation. And
I don't think it's like crummy.
Well, cancer's pretty crummy.
Yeah.
This situation in the moment is pretty crummy. Yeah. I think that at least. Okay, and from here on out, we're not going to talk about what Dr. Smith said.
Yeah.
We're going to live in hope, and we hope that you will join us in believing that hope, creating that hope, and living that hope. Because even when it's hard, we can do it, and we will do it. We love you. Thank you for
Love you.
supporting us and being here. We'll see you in the next one.